Hi everyone, it's another fine day, it's another beautiful day, and the one thing we've decided to do is talk to people. Talk to people because we are looking at how we can build our community. We are looking at some of the things we should do as a people to move ahead. We not get any choice, especially knowing no person will do one for we. If maybe you, if maybe me, if maybe the person we sit next to you, then no person will do one. Today I have, by the way, people have so much respect for. Una will know why I talk get so much respect for. We want to talk about something we it's important. It's important. Um, yeah, boss. Now welcome for Toridey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh, I think I don't know if we need to do introduction. I think the faces are known already all over our community, but for the sake of some stranger will go watch the video, for the sake of some person we not the first time we do watch we'll start with my boss. Tell us about you.
Um, Thank you very much, Toridey. I'm Dr. Beke Molua, Sweet Beke from Anchorage, Alaska. Originally, I come from Grace Opoboya. Uh, I don't be here for Dallas, stay here for Dallas for 6 years. Then I moved to Alaska. I don't be Alaska for 10 years. And now I start up with this project. We aim for help with community, and for teach others. They say we no need for wait for government for be part of, for provide for we to be part of the government. So that's why I dey here today for get a fundraising wey go be for Sunday for this project where they call us the Light of Fako.
Boss, you did you want to go faster than I want to ask you about how I do for Alaska. I just say that's side cool with the cool. Like how I do for the
Well, we did the if people they no die, we too know if we die. So we manage Alaska has a beautiful place.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, so anywhere where you go for this, well, you make yourself feel at home. Just try for get yourself used to the people, which people they do, you to fit one. So if the people they will meet up a day, they not die, you to no go die.
That's right.
and that's so true. And I like one other thing you said. Us how we for do things for our community because we already find ourselves for that place we not get mommy, we not get papa. Now we be one mommy, now we be one papa. Boss, you know if you know how I know you, but I don't know you for a long time. I don't always do watch you keenly. So much respect for you. When you be even tell me say, okay, I come with this person, but I don't know me your name, this person and this person. Now until he sent me picture, I was like, okay, naive, no be ye, naive. And then when you walked in here today, I was like, whoa, it means Toridey is actually going to someplace good. And then when you talked about you watching the videos and you like what we were doing, I was like, okay, uh, man, no, get too emotional. Welcome for Toridey, boss.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to read it and the viewers. What do I say? My name is Bristol Masonjo Leonga. I have too many titles. For the purpose of this project, I will just say I am from Smosopo Wovila in Boya.
Mhm,
I am a son of the soil from Fako.
mhm,
And this is very dear to me, this project. I put my heart and my soul in it.
mhm,
I have a very wonderful leader who happens to be a big brother of our community. I think one of the major things that attracted me to the project was being able to give back, but not just give back, but to ignite the minds of our people back home. Light Up Fako is not just limited to providing electricity or street lamp, it's also illuminating the minds of people for us to think a little differently, a little out of the box, a little how we can sustain things for ourselves if the help is not coming from anywhere.
Boss, if some big mommy for Wovia, for Mukundange, he asks you, my pikin, I don't hear the light of Fako, light of Fako. What is light of Fako all about? I want me to put down for the simplest way that big mommy go understand without any challenge.
Well, before thank you. Before I want to put out the simplest way, I would say light of Fako, it be meant for install affordable solar lamps. So cheap solar lamps, the way they no be connected with NAO. Where if NAO no day, that light then go always be for street. Because NAO figure off and that solar lamp, that light them means that they generate light. They take their own light now for sun. And when they take their own light for sun during the day, during for night time, they make sure they give back that light for we. So they don't feel disappoint we because sun always there. We go provide that light, we will take them and then they give you back light. So for the mommy there, the day for Wovia, Bonakanda, all Banga Bakundu, any side, because this light of Fako, the name na Fako, no doubt, but it no go end na for Fako because the same problem we there for Fako, and the same problem we there all over Cameroon. So with the calm now for light, make people they made them know say we the community will not need for we government for putting the way it go help we for the community. We go put it go help you for reduce insecurity. So light of Akuna for calm, like my brother talk for you, for emulate people their minds, for no say we too feel do things them while waiting for the government. Because government no get that enough resources for do for everybody. But now we feel the pain, we if insecurity there for community, now we feel the pain. Somebody can attack you for Kati, now you feel the pain. If somebody can broke your house, now we feel the pain. If they kill somebody, now we feel the pain. Yeah. So if light there everywhere, if somebody want attack house, at least we will see that person. So we no one wait for government. We want to say we will do this thing like a family, like a community, so that we go get interest for protect the thing where we say ban with our money.
I think I like that answer. And with that, I think I want to go for my boss. When you hear about projects like this, what comes to your mind?
So one of the first things I asked him that came into my mind was you have to understand that it's like a little plant or a little seed that you plant and you watch it grow. The scope of the project when you initially started was much smaller. It was just, you know what, let's do Grace of Paul.
Yes.
You know, and then it started evolving. Wait a minute, why only Grace of Paul? We can take it a little further than that. And he starts incorporating more villages or towns. And then by the time he realized, you know what, we can do the whole of Fako. And so if one person can think of a project like that and your mind starts opening up, then imagine the capacity we can if we scale to hundreds of thousands of people in the Fako region and even other well-wishers who are not part of Fako. So to me, it sums up to two things. He has brought a very good point. His primary objective to start was let's create a secured environment. Let's limit the times where we have challenges with Enel, Sunel, or whatever with providing electricity. Let's create an environment where kids and adults can work freely in the community. But then if you flip the coin, you start realizing, wait a minute, it can also foster economic development. We are local people who don't have a necessary sustainable market or farm to market process in Cameroon, but people do things that are not very conventional. So if someone wants to move their products in the evening, because that's how our system permits us to do, and they say, I can't do because it's dark. I can't move my products from the farm because think about a local farmer in Fako, for example. He goes to the farm, his products come back home by 6 or 7 p.m. He doesn't really have transportation to take it all the way back to his warehouse. So because it's too dark. No street lamps is risky to drive at night. So it opens up opportunities for people to still run their businesses even when the sunlight comes down. It opens possibilities for kids to go to evening schools and come back. There is just vast amount of economic opportunities when you think about an illuminated Fako.
Okay, I think we don't rush go for phone, forget say for share. I don't send you the link if you forward and for you. Let's go ahead and just those who are watching already. Remember we're trying to have a conversation that can help build our community. So the conversation, if you stop now with we want you to ask questions. If you have your questions, if you have your concerns, suggestions, we want to make sure this succeeds. We want to make sure this gets to a place where everyone is involved. Um, when we say everyone involved, we're not just talking about financially. Um, Ideas and be welcome. And now, for those who the one decide say, hey, I don't get time for giving out ideas, I will just probably support financially. That would be very, very beautiful. Um, Maybe to go ahead and share. And while we share, I think say okay. While the share, my share with some few groups on WhatsApp, and then we'll continue the conversation. Okay. Oh, one more time. So, guys, go ahead and share. Go ahead and ask your questions, please. Share with other groups. Go ahead and ask your questions. I think this is a beautiful idea. Now, the one thing that we always lack for community, having these conversations. So many people they don't decide say they'll do things and but they do it on their own. They do them by themselves, but things are changing. See so many people wanting to have conversations, and I feel like now the one thing that I would take we go for Sawo Wango. My next question are for you, boss. Tell us a little bit about some because I know the event we're about to have. I don't think this is the first one you're doing. Um, you probably get your millions to bank with if you just say, you know what, I want to do this thing by myself. Why did you think it was important for you to involve the community?
No, so the reason why I think it's very important to involve the community because there's a saying: if you go by yourself, you might go far, but you will not last long.
Mm-hmm.
But if we go as a team,
Mhm.
we'll go far and we'll last long.
Okay.
You know, I grew up in an environment where we believe in community development.
Mhm.
I fulfill decide say I want to am by myself.
Mhm.
Like I start for Great Support.
Mhm.
I did other 17 villages by myself.
Mhm.
But if we continue for do stand alone for do something without involving your community.
Mhm.
Correct.
Because first of all, the idea for Light of Fako, doing things together, they make we be united.
Mhm.
So when you bring people there in for Duam,
Mhm.
it's just one person. Everybody just
Mhm.
commit yourself by one lamb.
Mhm.
So if 200 people they buy one lamb, that's 400 lambs.
Mhm.
If you know how far that lamb they go. So one lamb where you go buy me, one lamb is just $100.
Mhm.
If every man buy one lamb, it no go burn me out. And the people then where they on ground, when they get involved, they go appreciate what they don't do for themselves, and then they go also protect the material where they buy for themselves. Think about this: if you buy that computer today, you buy it out of your money,
Mhm.
you go secure the computer
Mhm.
because you don't invest on the computer.
Right.
But if somebody give you that computer, probably you go appreciate them, but you no go secure or protect that thing that much because maybe a sweat. So whatever thing where any man get them, as a team, we can move stronger and faster.
Mhm.
So That's the reason why I decide, say, you know what? I feel do this to me one, but it will go for some one
Right.
as a community.
Vested interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we will protect them. We get people there, they know you go spend millions for Cameroon, for Fako, or for other areas. Because this thing may be only for Fako. We come over here for America or for Europe, you go build business, we get millions. But not be secure because you go there, your next door neighbor no get security light. So even if they attack you, their next door neighbor no fit come off or can't help you because he no even get light. So if we all fit join together and say, okay, every man get light, when they attack you, your next neighbor get light. If he feels safe, for come out outside for can't help you. So na time do reach where we for Cameroonians they need for start think positive and be with community without waiting on the government. You know, we think that they will question the government, but we also have to question ourselves. What are we doing to help our community? Just like former President J.F. Kennedy said, you know, you ask yourself what you have done to the community, not what the government have done to you. So that's my idea of bringing people together, united, to build a strong and safe community.
See, I like the idea he talks about the government because our people, some people, I've learned to always use most or some people because not everyone necessarily thinks the same. Some people always want to point the government. The government is not doing this thing for us. It's limiting our ability to thrive. We've paid our taxes, things are not getting done. But then you go back and you realize we're talking to that government as if it's an extremely foreign entity that is independent of us. And the government are the same people that we know.
Yes.
So if all of us don't have the mindset and this government keeps changing, we're coming from the same people in the community who have this government positions who still don't understand how to build a community. So don't always point at the government, point at ourselves. What have we done as ourselves, as a community to grow before you even get into that government position? So start an initiative, let it spread like wildfire, and then get an opportunity to talk with your local authorities to see how can they subsidize in this, how can they help you scale? Because I think a lot of times when I have these conversations with Dr. Becker over here, he's fascinated by, I'm interested. I brought this idea. I went to talk to these people there, and I was shocked at the great ideas they added to it. And that's the beautiful thing about learning, because you think you're on top of the world when you bring this idea, and then you go to the people locally and you start saying they have great ideas, but no one gave them the platform or an opportunity to prove their worth.
Wow. Plus, I think so my next question will be now for you. As a community, what do you think we need to start doing differently for us to get to where you think we should be in 10, 20 years?
As a community, we so are we talking specifically to things like community development, like Light Up Fako and things like that?
So, Light Up Fako are just one of the many things that we do.
Correct.
Yeah. So I want generally from your observation, what you think our community needs to start doing differently to get us to where we need to be.
I think we need to change our mindset, and I'm sorry that every time I keep referencing him. When we have intimate conversations about these things, and he's talking about we need to change our mindset to the part of service, not ego. The ego is taking us a lot. A lot of people have the money to do things, and they want to do it so their name can be there and they could be called. But if you think from a perspective of service, you have a lot of people that come together to serve. I am hoping that his initiative of Light of Fako is going to spark people's minds to start thinking, oh, wait a minute. 2 years ago, we had a landslide in Boya, and there was all this water, and people died because there was just gushing, a massive amount of rain came and swept people away. Well, why can't we start thinking of coming together and build an embankment somewhere at the base of the mountain so you can entrap that water from coming down? We don't have those ideas because we think it's too grand. But with an idea like what he's doing, it starts making people start thinking in a different perspective. It's not just in Fako, it's all the places in Cameroon. If you look at the way the Jewish and Indian communities have grown, yet they not wait for their leaders to bring them where they are. I live here in Dallas, Texas, and I look at other communities like the Indian communities who have built a whole society for themselves. They've built a whole village, and it's just their people promoting their own culture.
Very true.
Well, they didn't wait for the Dallas government or the Frisco
Yeah.
or the mayor to do something for that. They came with the initiative. Why? Because they've seen other communities do it. We just need to plant that seed. And the second part of that is the blaming we have as a community, always pointing a finger.
Finger.
I can't do this because this person is hindering me. And to take a step, like you said, single-handedly, you're not going to go too far. Come as a community, trust one another. Because when you trust and go as a community, you have a shared benefit and you have a shared loss if it ever happens. You don't feel the burden
Burden
of
by
I'm
yourself.
wasting all this money if things don't go well. You also feel like you have additional support, because if things were to go down, people are going to garner behind you to make sure your dreams come true. Yeah.
And
Well,
one thing, if I may add,
yeah.
you know, this is not, we're trying to do things that it should not be behind a particular person. And I tell people when I go back home, I sit with people just like Molama you said, people have learned to be part of this. People on the ground, it's fascinating when you see people on the ground, young people say, oh, we want to offer our time to be part of this project. Because we've given them that platform to say, okay, what can you do to help? So we need to start teaching those back home that money must not only come to America to do project.
No, it doesn't.
The money can come over here, but your physical participation to serve your community is even money more than the cash that is coming
Very
from the
true.
United States. So that knowledge that we are giving them and making sure they know that it's not about Dr. Becker, it's not about Toridey, it's not about Molama Ronjo, it's about us. So if we stand like us, we can move the mountains. But many
Agreed.
people, what we fail to understand is that when you come from the United States or any part of the world, you go there and say, I want to do this, so that your name should be up there. No, that's not what we do. It's not my project. I might initiate this project, but it is a community project. So when you're looking at Light of Fako, don't look at Dr. Becker. Look at how we can benefit our community by working together. And it must not be from Fako. It's going to extend to Meme. In the Light of Fako, in the Light of Fako team, we have a board. And that board is not made of Bakuri people. We have people from Meme. We have people from Dian. We have people from the Northwest, believe it or not, because we are hoping that from Fako, some other region or division shall copy this, and we can have Light Up Meme, and we can have Light Up Northwest. So because the same problems we are facing, that's the same problem we are facing everywhere in Cameroon.
That is true.
Boss, he just couple of talks until I want me to throw more light on the fact that sometimes when people hear Light Up Fako, they tend to associate Fako with a tribe, forgetting that if you go down to Moliko, you want to start count buildings and all of that, you get even person will come out Ghana.
That is
Probably
true.
get home. So if we don't light up Fako as a group of people from different places, then even you where your property day for day, be secured. So I want you to throw more light on that. Talk to our people, give them a reason why they can understand. Look at the project more like a community project and not something that's coming from a tribe or an individual like it to travel talk.
Right. So that's actually a very tricky way to discern this. It's just a coincidence that it happened that it was pioneered by a Bakweri indigene. I think he's looking at it way beyond that. Okay, he orchestrated this project, is going further, and we're looking back and saying, for everyone who has gone through Fako, it doesn't matter if you're a Soban. I'm a Soban myself. I'm a bureaucrat extant myself. For people who went to Baptist, PCSS, for all the different tribes, it doesn't matter if it's Bali or Bayangi, or when you have your cultural organizations and you come together and you thrived in the Fako region. We're calling on all and simply every person who has been through that region to say, hey, this is a way for you to give back. One man, one lamb. When you go on the streets and you drive by, you're not going to know if it's Mulabeke, we'll put this street light
Yeah.
here or put that one there.
Mhm.
You just know that we have an illuminated environment.
Mhm.
And then you start thinking, well, what else can we do
Oh.
to our community, for our community as a servant?
Mhm.
We're there to serve.
Mhm.
Because, like I said earlier, when you contribute to this project, you feel fulfilled. It doesn't matter if you're driving in Wotutu or going to Limbe.
Mhm.
The idea is that, oh, I contributed to this.
Yeah.
My sweat is the.
Mhm.
I mean, you're not looking at a simple lamp, but
Yeah.
you see the benefits. Just imagine Light Up Fako.
Mhm.
Light Up Fako starts an initiative,
Mhm.
and then they light up an entire village, and then
Mhm.
you come back and you see little kids in the weekend doing a Malay dance or whatever on the streets and having fun, doing theater arts like we did back in the days. That is a sign of fulfillment, because the deficiency of electricity is killing our culture in so
Very
many
true.
ways that we don't know.
Very true.
Because the whole community just shuts down.
Shut down.
You don't
Yes.
see anything happening. I remember growing up as a kid, we had a lot to offer. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if we had more electricity, we could have done more. But the villages are expanding. Businesses are going to those villages. They need to be secured. People need to have access to these services and resources, but they cannot, because a simple resource like electricity is so hard to find. And if you can't find it, you can navigate those treacherous waters.
And to add on that, you see,
Mhm.
but after I donated for great support and I decided to donate to other villages, I took some time when I went back home and I visited a couple of villages.
Mhm.
It blew my mind before I decided that, you know what, this thing needs to be all over.
Right.
I went to Bonjogo, that we donated 5 lamps, and met this group of kids studying under these lights.
That's right.
Oh.
Yes.
So
That
I
is
looked
true.
at it, I'm like, wow. So I was doing this just to feel like there's a light in the place, but there was no light, and these kids
We're
are
not studying.
studying in a group under a solar lamp.
Right.
Oh.
So if everybody can look at it that way, and I'm in the United States, I'm in Alaska, most of the time during the winter,
Mhm.
we have darkness for 18 hours. If there's no light, my kids will suffer the same.
Mhm.
So you go home,
Mm-hmm.
you drive good cars, you have a business, you build good houses. Your next door neighbor doesn't have that benefit that you have. We are here not because we are destined to be here. Everybody can come to the United States to
Right.
travel,
Yeah, it's a journey.
but God has put us here so that we can also give, even if we cannot give physically or financially, we can teach those who are back home to what we have learned from here.
Mhm.
The American system has taught people to invest and save their community. So when we learn that from here, we take it back home, educate those back home, and see how they too can help us come together and invest and save our community. It can be very beneficial, and it's going to positively expand their mind. So
Correct.
those are the things that I'm looking for, because the people that we are working on, they now believe that, oh, so these guys not just coming, they are not just coming. We have meetings
We do
every
have meetings.
Wednesday with people from
Yeah.
Cameroon. So they are not just
Yeah.
coming to say they want to put light and tell us what to do. We now ask their own ideas on what we can do,
Right.
and how we can implement the project. They bring up ideas and we sit down and talk about it. So it's very important for us to make sure we emulate what we are learning from the United States or Europe and take it back home, so that it can benefit those that are not opportune to come over here.
Yeah.
Boss, my next question will be for you.
Sure.
Talk to your people. Give them a reason why everyone should show up on Sunday. To not only probably help raise funds, but then do other things that will make us happy and more united as a community.
Okay. So I would like to start this particular answer by giving you a background into a synopsis of the entire project, correct? We're raising funds. Why we're raising funds? So we can have sustainable, self-sustained, solar-generated power lights, okay? And these solar-generated lights are going to illuminate the streets like we talked earlier. But then there's also an opportunity for employment for those back in Cameroon. We're going to provide these resources and services, which is the electricity and the power lamps, but we're going to train those on the ground to do it. We're not bringing people from far away to come do the installation in Cameroon. No. So all the money that we're trying to raise to get this lamp, we're still going to pay locals back home to be able to install the lamps. But it doesn't end there. When you install the lamp, what do? You have to sustain and maintain the lamps. So we are purchasing lamps in the diaspora. I'm not going to give specifics of where they're coming from, not yet, because the logistics team is in charge of that. But some of the discussions we've had is they were built for a different society, not necessarily ours in Cameroon, because of our atmospheric condition and our weather or climate conditions. We need a certain degree of care. It may be too much dust that is coming into the lamp. It needs constant cleaning. I'm not sure about the frequency of that. But some of these funds we're raising are going to pay these people to maintain this lamp. We're not an organization that's going to put lamps on the streets and they just abandon it. You need to sustain that continuous flow of electricity for the people. And then beyond that, we start making people think, how can we empower our schools to create engineers who can start developing labs that are very friendly to our own climate conditions? Because only with those failures, and I'm going to say failure for a reason, when you start a project like this, you have lessons learned. And some of the lessons you learn is where maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, we realize these lamps are great, but it could be better. Why can't we start engineering our own solutions in Africa and make it even cheaper? So I'm saying this is a birth of a nation of ideology that we're not even seeing yet. But if you don't start from somewhere, it's not going to go. So I'm calling on all the donors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is an amazing project. We're evangelizing innovation in our environment. The effect that you're going to create by donating is going to go a long way to help even the future generation, because we're going to grow up in a society where we have enough to protect ourselves, but also to foster socio-economic growth in all of these villages that are back.
Wow. Boss, that was, I feel like somebody don't know one time.
Sure. You can donate. It's open to everyone. And we're not, there's no cap on it. And some people have donated massively, okay? And then we appreciate them, we recognize them. But they're also now, see, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had people who donated 3 times. You know why? Because they donated the first time because they thought, oh, okay, so Becker is running this whole Light Up Fako thing, let's donate. And then when he goes to some of these symposiums and conferences and starts talking, they go, oh, I'll donate again. And then when I come behind and lay down the plan, and the sustainable planners go for years, they're like, oh, so this is not a one-time thing. Now, another thing I'm going to tell you, which these people have decided to be anonymous in their donations. There are people who are subscribing to donations. When I say subscription, I mean there are people who have pledged to every 6 months, I'm going to give this. Like they want to give a lot, but they don't have it yet. But they also understand the journey is going to take to do it. So, okay, every 6 months, I'm going to donate this to the fundraising account. It's small, no doubt, but think about it. Over time, months, years, it grows to a huge donation. They're doing a great job supporting us.
Boss, when I saw you, I call you boss and Dr. Mula. Now my brother, where your brother and a doctor, you call him by name.
That happens. I've caught myself do it a few times, but I have to, give credit where credit is due. So I'm very conscious. We're having professional meetings. I don't go in there as if it's my brother. After that, oh yeah, we go.
Tell us about some of the things will happen during the event, because some people feel like, oh, it's just fundraising. Just a few things beside the fundraising will go happen on that day.
No, it go been a big fun. First of all, the reason a lot of people don't ask question why you take this thing go for church, why you decide say maybe the fundraising been for church. First of all, we get to understand say Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 to 4. It says God created the heavens and the earth, and after that, what did God do? He created light. That's what God did. And he divided the light from the darkness, because God saw that it was very important for us to have light.
Wow.
You can't do anything. So this project is tied with God's own words. So for us to continue this project, we have to take it into the house of God. Any project that you don't take it and lay it in the hands of God, possible failure will be because you have so many attacks.
Very true.
But with most of the projects, we just continue because we have money. We can have all the money, but we don't pray about this project. We don't commit it to the hands of God. It's a failure. So we are making this project a fun project on Sunday. It's going to be full cultural event. We have an artist that is coming for this project, Mula Mongombe. We're going to all dress in our cultural attire in the church. We're going to praise God. We're going to pray for this project. We're going to interact, and we're going to network and see how we have business people coming. So while you are coming for Light of Fako, you can meet somebody that is doing something that you are interested, that you don't know how to do it. You network, and then we spend time to eat together. So prayers, networking, and talk about other things that is important will help us build our community.
I like that.
Boss, you want to add something?
No, I didn't. I didn't think of it from that perspective. It's actually beautiful. But if you think about, if you look in Cameroon throughout the year, okay, and even in our African community here in Dallas, what is the biggest community event we attend? It is the church. The church is the foundation of our community. It's where you meet your families. It's like you're guaranteed every Sunday you go to church. That is one way that we connect in the diaspora, is going through church. So I think it's very normal for us to use that as a focal point to promote a community or cultural event, because we're all gathered, as much as it's in the name of God, but it's also a disparity of cultures from wherever you are, from Fako or whatever, Northwest, East, West, Cameroon. We come together and commune. So it is very okay for it to be in church. If anyone is thinking that it's going to be like a religious event, yes, like you said, we're joining religious part of it, the cultural part of it, the business part of it, the evangelizing part of Light of Fako. And think again, Light of Fako, while it might be illuminating the streets, we are also raising funds to illuminate the minds of people, to help our people back home, to create an interest in identifying all the gaps we have in our community. No, I mean, we could have spent, if he didn't come up, I'm sorry to put it this way, we could have spent the next 50, 100 years never come with this idea. So if someone comes up with this idea like this, we have to evangelize it, so we wake up the minds of other people. What else is out there for us to run? And there are a lot of things that I talk with him about. Don't get me wrong, like early childhood with kids, on education for kids, and disaster recovery plans for the Fako region. There are so many things we've talked about, but let's prioritize and go small. Let's give people an opportunity to see. And when they see through the Light of Fako project, then they can start infusing other initiatives out there.
Wow, this is beautiful. By the way, the address is on the screen. I don't know if there's a phone number on there. What is the phone number if someone wanted to reach out to you guys?
So RSVP for the event on Sunday?
Yeah, for the event.
So there is a flyer. I don't know if you have the flyer.
I think I'm supposed to have the flyer.
Let me look through my phone here and see. There is a flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, that's the address. Copy it's going to be a fun event. I guess my one friend we own let's say, hey, and if you with Mutai Sanja, go for the way white shirt in. I'm like
it's true. It's
and it's going to be it'll be it'll be a beautiful event.
It is cultural awakening.
Yeah. You know? And wow, I think I like this. Guys, go ahead and share the videos. If you have any questions, let us know. Share the video with every other person. Share the video with friends, share it with families. If you be married, get enemies. Share the video with your enemies.
Isn't that a good one?
Share the video. So I think that is the flyer. I think the flyer has phone numbers you can contact if you need help of any kind. Man, we get to build our community, and it starts with conversations. We already Dr. Mola already initiated the conversation Now na time for we for meet.
Mhm.
Meet. Whether you come for come, drop your own fun or whatever. We just need for first of all come together and do what we can do as a community. Uh, it is true. Sometimes we argue, sometimes we fight. But even if we fight, more we fight. They think about tomorrow. More we fight. They think about living an environment where our kids will be proud. If I remember very well, one of the things that me particularly, I don't always worry, and I know see many other people don't always worry. Now the facts, oh, I wish our papa they be do this. I wish our great grandpapa they be
Mhm.
do this. I wish.
Pointing fingers.
Yeah.
Guess what? 50 years, not even 50, 20 years from now, they picking them
The
now,
two
the
they will
two they
still
will
ask
say,
you.
oh, I wish it go funny say sometime on the even the point I wish una be do this. I
Right.
wish so this is that one moment where we want come together, talk, do it with do for make our community better. Boss, which will be your final words today?
Oh my God. Final words. I have too many words to say. I don't even know how to put them together in a conclusion. So, here is my final word to everyone who's coming to this event, and we will subsequently donate. We have a
Mhm,
website,
mhm,
ladderfako.org.
mhm,
Eventually going to share it to your viewers so they can see it. To all the viewers out there and
mhm,
listeners, um, use this as an opportunity for you to grow your mindset.
mhm,
Use this as an opportunity for you to create a positive mindset for your own generation coming next. Like you said, we have people who complain about what the forefathers did.
mhm.
Well, our forefathers had a different set of challenges in the community that we were not aware of.
Yeah.
And now we are seeing our own challenges, which we're creating a solution for. The next generation is going to continue with that torchlight. But if we don't instill that mindset of community building and giving back to the community that made us who we are today,
Mhm,
then we grow up to be an ungrateful generation. We don't want that. So
mhm,
I hope that our kids are going to grow up and say, well, our fathers came together and
mhm,
joined and did something back home.
mhm,
Maybe we can start building as well. But also, how can we come together and identify problems we have, challenges that are not, we don't have to wait for things to be critical
mhm.
before we fix them. We don't want to hear that there's an accident that occurred in a certain street corner because
Mhm.
there was no electricity there.
Interesting.
We know there's a potential of an accident there. So go ahead and create the solution. Don't wait for something bad to happen. So come on, bring up your donations. Help us take this to bigger heights.
Mhm,
We are going to go beyond, but we're going to start small. So we appreciate all our past donors and
mhm,
future donors. We look forward to not just your donations in finances, but your donations in ideas. Because as a young foundation, we are still learning a lot as we interact with a lot of people. You'll be surprised how we learn a lot from the people back home.
Yes,
The
yes,
people who stay on the street, sometimes they'll tell you, you can't put a light there, you can't do this, or
yes.
you have to start from this side because we are learning a lot, and no one is too small to share knowledge with us.
very
We
true.
are very welcoming in all innovative strands. So that's it. We're an open book. Reach out to us, and we will be welcome. We will be honored to get your messages. Sorry.
Dr. Molo, what would
You
be your
know,
final words?
so my final words are, some of us we enjoy going to visit Dubai. We enjoy going to visit all the islands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we love our country, Cameroon. But we
That's
always
true.
complain about what is happening in Cameroon. Think
Mhm,
about this. That's what put me on this place.
mhm,
I love to see my kids in Cameroon, but I can't go to Cameroon when Cameroon is insecure.
mhm.
I'm the only person to make my environment secure so that my kids can enjoy the environment that I grew up with.
That's right.
I don't want my picking them make them grow up for all the viewers when they know
Mhm,
the best way they sit down for background microphone. Now my small brother,
mhm,
he know who will grow. We used to
Mhm.
grow for Banga Bakudu,
mhm.
no
No
lights.
lie.
People they work out bushlam or turukan.
Mhm,
Right.
You know if you see the next person where they for your front. So if person starve you, you cannot understand.
yeah.
Do you want your kids to grow up thinking that that is where you were born? No.
Mhm.
So we have to make the environment that we grew up
Mhm,
suitable for our kids to visit and be proud of it.
mhm,
That's true.
If you spend money for go see Dubai, think about say you put one light, and we all Cameroonians,
mhm,
no matter where you are coming from, don't think about only Fako.
mhm.
Just to contribute one light anywhere you are coming from. In the next 5 to 10 years, you will see that image where you go enjoy for Dubai and every other place.
You will.
for your own backside.
Mhm.
So we invite everybody. Anybody will also be online.
Mhm.
Join us online on this conversation.
Mhm.
Ask any questions where you want to ask them.
Mhm.
Give any suggestion where you want suggestion. The project is not about us, it's
Mhm.
about our community. So we
Right.
are welcome and we are opening our ears to anybody that is willing to participate physically, financially, with any suggestions and comments.
Right.
We'll take it. Negative, positive, we'll take it because that is how we learn. So on Sunday, we want to see you all and continue.
Mhm.
Go to our website where we'll publish them.
Mhm.
For make your comments and give
Yeah.
us any suggestions that you have.
Right. They can donate online.
You
They
can
even have a
donate
comment
online.
section
Yeah,
online.
You have
you
Cash
said the
App and
website
Zelle.
is lightoffaku.org, right?
Yes, loof.org, lightoffaco.org.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so lightoffaku. We have the website
Okay,
on there,
good.
and then uh let me see. I think the Cash App link to for donation is there. Now the reason what
Everything
they
is on
do,
there.
yeah, the reason what they do Cash App link now because some people they probably know if you travel too far for come for year, una take
Mhm.
una time after another ask una questions, una if you go do the donation, una if you do them. It talks on two way, it really touched me. About Banga Bakundu. I'd imagine how today picking they sleep for 9, 10 because they study. But growing up for Banga Bakundu, will not be fit stay up to that time because crazy not even there for lamp. It means say for the most part of your life, you limit yourself because he lights the no day. That is one reason why we must do everything for providing picking the at least without light. So may they fit study the way they fit study. And then for the people they like for working for night or for go do their businesses or whatever, so more security. One thing be certain, any bad person we want attacks on house or you want attacks on community, if you see light, you could think at least small, even for 10 seconds
Mhm.
before you make that decision. But if light no day, you need even think. Good reason for us to invest in this project. Boss, thank you very, very much for today.
Oh.
We'll go ahead and try for do it if we do for push this idea. And for the people that they join now, I beg una share this video. For the people that they join now, I beg una go for the website, una read about the project. And if you feel like you want to replicate this same project, because it started like Dr. Moloa for support. You understand? Okay, might just do some one thing, and then he was like, and then you see great minds like my brother won't come in. They continue to push the idea. And earlier today when we sat and we were discussing, and he was saying, yeah, when they say light of Fakopo, they only think about lamp. No, it's not just a lamp, not just that symbol. But we know only light up the place. We can for light up the people, their mind. And I feel like that the biggest challenge that our community get and the biggest problem that our community get them. But thank God we get people like them. They don't decide for transform things. Guys, go ahead and share the video. We don't want to make a long already for 47 minutes. I feel so we'll do na 12 minutes. But when story sweet, they say
Right.
we'll
When to
go
read it now.
again and again and again and again and again. For one last time, that is the flyer. For those who they look for the address there for screen. For those who they look for Cash App or Zelle for make their donations, it there for screen. If you wanted to call someone for whatever information you need, I feel so get the numbers away. We need them for screen. Thank you very much for today. Una come or go light of Fako.